Test 1, 2, 3. Test.
Can hear you.
Let me see. I do have a coach's contact down there, but I got to remember what his name is. Prather. I'm going to send it to you.
Thank you, sir. The guy I've been using, Bronner, the same guy I used for Justice Terry, has been good to me. That's why I figured you knew him, but I don't know who this guy is. But
no, I always went through Prather. I'll share it with you right now, though.
Hey, y'all, we about to get started.
Coaches.
Okay.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Inside Georgia High School Recruiting with Najeh Wilkins. I am your host. We're super excited to be back today. We have a lot to go through. We'll have Benjamin Wolk of Dawgs247 and also Brett Greenberg of Bama247 on the show for multiple segments. Talk about the latest in recruiting for both Georgia and Alabama. We also will have Will Rajecki, who will break his commitment with us on the show today in our third segment at 1:40. So stay tuned for that. That will be a lot of fun. Can't wait for that. Obviously, we'll have Sam Vincent on, underrated guy, athlete for River Ridge. He will be on the show in segment 4. And then obviously segment 5 will conclude with the coverage of CJ Givers' official commitment. We'll reveal where he committed here in just a little bit. But without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome on Brett Greenberg and Ben Wolk to the show. What's going on, fellas?
How you doing, Najee?
Doing good,
Great
man.
to see you as always.
Yes,
you as
sir.
well, Brett, I guess.
Yes, sir, man.
I talk to you too much, Ben.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all fellas coming on, man. So let's talk about the big news, man. A guy that's a commit for, or a target, I should say, obviously for both of, the Georgia and Alabama programs. Kamari Brooks, what is the latest there? Ben, I'm going to start with you. Tell me, what are you hearing, about Kamari Brooks?
I was hoping you'd start with Brett so that I could get a little bit of insight from the Alabama side before I gave this. But, this is a guy that is critically important for Georgia's class. They're really only planning to take one outside linebacker in the 2026 cycle. And when the top guy on your board is 10 minutes away from your campus, you really don't want to let him go. I think that Georgia is feeling confident as it's reaching the final stages, but until they actually get that confirmed green light, I want to be in Georgia's class, I think there's still going to be a little bit of uneasiness. And the fact that he was willing to take that Alabama visit after the Georgia visit and then didn't take any of the other visits, I think makes them, understandably worried about where Bama sits in this. But as of right now, I would probably project Kamari Brooks in Georgia's recruiting class.
Yeah, I mean, kind of biggest takeaway I took from, Ben right there is that it hasn't been explicitly said, hey, I want to be in this class yet. I continue to think the same things that Ben just said there, in that it seems like it's kind of a matter of when, not if, for Kamari Brooks and the University of Georgia football program. Again, very close to campus. A lot of Alabama fans have been talking about him. I've kind of compared him to the Xavier Crowells and the Cedarian Morgans, to that effect of being close to campus, in-state, kind of your main top guys at positions. And Kamari Brooks certainly is that for Georgia, has visited countless times. But again, Alabama got him on an official visit. He said he was going to take that trip. And he still took that trip after getting to Georgia. So again, there's kind of continued, hey, things haven't been shut down on Georgia's end. But to kind of wrap it up, it does still kind of feel like Georgia's kind of the inevitable place for Kamari Brooks, who's a very, very, very talented player.
All right, so you guys both are saying Georgia is in the lead for Kamari Brooks. Maybe we'll see a late push from Alabama. Let's stay on Alabama, Brett. Let's talk about Xavier Griffin. He had an OV official a few weeks ago. Just what are the latest you was hearing about that, and maybe a timeline for that commitment coming up?
Yeah, I think it's, I was asked this yesterday. It was kind of the update is there's not really a whole update to kind of come off. He went to this Texas official visit over the weekend, heard very, very positive things coming out of that official visit, which is going to happen with any trip. He's the number one linebacker in the country. There's going to be the red carpet laid out for him. But that official visit to Alabama, I think, re-solidified his feelings towards the Crimson Tide. And I don't even know if re-solidified is the right word. It's kind of just showing what he already knew about that program. And you look at the quote right there, all hands on deck from the players and the current players, from juniors all the way down to freshmen and players during the official visit, I think really made a big difference for Alabama. I continue to like where Alabama stands. And like you said, a June 29th commitment, was at Texas last weekend, gets to Florida State, but kind of continuing to see Crimson Tide maybe leading this thing and can be in a good spot. I think Ben probably feels the same way as well, just from the outside looking in, having covered him for a long time.
Yes, sir. All right, let's switch to another five-star, Ben, and start with you on this one. Tyler Atkinson had an official visit. We know how big time he is, guys. We've seen him in the state championship. We know Grace is coming off, obviously, another state championship in their illustrious history. What was the key there? What are you hearing about that OV, Ben, from this past weekend?
Well, I shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but I was told Tyler Atkinson got the presidential treatment at Georgia this weekend, and they've had a lot of prospects on campus over the last month. I don't know that anybody got the red carpet treatment the way that Tyler Atkinson probably did. I mean, you were just talking about Xavier Griffin, and you know, Georgia saw Tyler Atkinson and Xavier Griffin both as inside linebackers in their scheme. And I think because of the magnitude of both of those recruitments, they knew they weren't going to be able to get both of them. And so I think they really had to say, who is the guy that they're going to go after hardest at inside linebacker? And Tyler Atkinson's been the one that they've been recruiting basically since he was an 8th grader, right? Like, he has been to Georgia more than probably any other recruit not named Kamari Brooks, just because Kamari Brooks is so nearby. And so things went great. I think that nobody in Athens is going to feel super comfortable about it until that Ohio State, well, I assume, you know, Tyler's putting out his official visits 1 week at a time. He hasn't announced what his upcoming official visit weekend is yet, but I think everybody would be stunned if it's not Ohio State, just given where they've sat in his recruitment, and he hasn't been to Ohio State for an official visit yet. I tend to lean towards Georgia or Ohio State for Tyler Atkinson, but that's one similar to Kamari Brooks. I struggle to see a world where Georgia lets that one slip out of state, but we've seen it time and time again where sometimes Georgia gets surprised where their top targets end up in an Alabama or an Ohio State, and I think Tyler Atkinson's the one that they're probably looking at close this cycle.
For sure. Now, guys, we're going to go through basically this upcoming official visit weekend, but we're going to do that in the second segment. But real quick, I want to get you guys both thoughts on the recent commitments for Georgia and Alabama this week. Ben, let's stay with you. Caden Harris, they flip him from Vanderbilt, cornerback. He's obviously a Georgia commit. What's the latest you could say about that and them flipping him?
Well, I'll admit, back in the spring when I did my first mock class of Georgia's recruiting cycle, 2026 recruiting cycle, I had Caden Harris in Georgia's class. And then about 2 weeks after that, sort of out of the blue, he announced he's going to commit, and he commits to Vanderbilt. And Georgia never went away. I mean, Georgia's defensive backs coach, cornerbacks coach, Dante Williams, he actually went on an in-home visit with Caden Harris and his family the day before he committed to Vanderbilt. And when Dante Williams left that, he knew that Caden Harris was going to be committing to Vanderbilt. He was not trying to get him off of that commitment to Vanderbilt, but he just wanted to let him know, I'm not going anywhere. We're going to recruit you to the end, and we're going to want you to come on an official visit this summer. I think, you know, we've seen it before. As recruits get further and further in their process, you know, there might be reasons why staying home in Nashville might have felt like the right decision at the time, or the prioritization that Vanderbilt was giving Caden Harris as probably their top defensive player on their board, that mattered to him. But I think once you get into the real decision-making mode, you start thinking about NFL. You start thinking about championship opportunities. And I just think ultimately Caden Harris saw more opportunity there with Georgia than he did with Vanderbilt. When he came on that official visit to Georgia a couple of weeks ago, I think that it was really just a matter of time of when he flipped, and Georgia finally pulled that flip off last Saturday. And I'll say this, I don't think Georgia's done at cornerback, despite having Justice Fitzpatrick and Caden Harris in the class, a couple of top 100 guys.
Very interesting. 30-second answer here, Brett. Give me your reaction to the biggest flip currently right now going on in the country. Former Iowa State commit quarterback Tom DeBala. Talk about a little bit about him and obviously flipping him.
Yeah, Jet Tamala takes an unofficial visit to Alabama the last week of May. You hear picks up an offer in the middle of May, takes an unofficial visit towards the end of May, and you hear, hey, he tells me there's plenty to think about, but I got to get back to Iowa State and take an official visit the following weekend. He takes that, check back in and says, hey, continue to hear things. I'm continuing to think about it. I'm continuing to think about it. And ultimately, Alabama pulls off the flip of a 4-star out of Omaha. And Alabama fans, you know, I want to caution this. You're not going to get a 5-star quarterback after gaining Keelan Russell, the number 2 quarterback in the country. I think Jet Tamala, who completed 70% of his passes 47 touchdowns with 3 interceptions as a junior, and his Elite 11 finalist out in LA this week is a very, very, very big pickup. I think that's going to start off the next kind of run of commitments for Alabama over the next couple weeks.
100%. Well, guys, all the time we got for this segment. Brett and also Ben will be right back in the second segment to discuss more Bama and Georgia football.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
This makes my dad proud. He went through his whole career as an employee. Now I'm the employer, something he didn't achieve.
We are signatory to IBEW and do IBEW people wherever we go that we feel like they are faster and better than any of our competition.
The advantages of being a signatory contractor is you're trained employees. You have unlimited manpower. It allows me to bid on jobs that I ordinarily would not go after.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
All right, welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Recruiting. I'm Najeh Wilkins. All right, guys, so it's now time to bring back on Brett and obviously Ben Wolk of Dawgs247 and Bama247. Brett, I'm going to start with you out of the break. I want to hear your thoughts a little bit on the Jaden Terry situation. I'm hearing some buzz, Brett. I know some things you can and can't say, but give something that Georgia Tech fans will feel a little qualm about, obviously, with heavy hitters like Bama recruiting him.
Yeah, it's a guy that you kind of started to hear a little bit more and more about when you talk to this Alabama staff and other kind of people close to the program. He gets down for an official visit over the weekend, and again, not shockingly, he adds an offer and he has a great time. Spoke with him. He talked about how the brotherhood felt different over at Alabama. Kind of the development factor, I think, is playing a big role. Obviously, his relationship with Maurice Linguist, who's the defensive backs coach at Alabama, that a lot of Alabama fans, I think people in Georgia too, know his kind of recruiting ability. Obviously, getting Jordan Edmonds, who's the #1 cornerback in the country for 247 out of Sprayberry High School. But yeah, Jaden Terry, I think, is kind of having a lot to think about. And kind of Ben talked about it earlier in the show. A lot of these guys are taking visits and, reevaluating things. And when you go on these trips, you're going to have a good time. And I think he's maybe taking a step back as well. But again, he hasn't made a flip. He continues to be committed to Georgia Tech as well. And he made that very clear to me during our conversation.
Now, Brett, one more question for you before I throw it back to Ben. Just any concern, top 45 class, we know Bama recruits top 5 classes, top 10 classes all the time, but any concern where the class is right now, and what is the official visit weekend looking like for, obviously, the Crimson Tide coming up?
Yeah, short answer is no. I mean, you look even back to the Nick Saban days, he was able to take his time. And I think even this staff with Alabama and what they've been doing, they still have time. And you look at the national commit list, which Georgia and Alabama have plenty of guys announcing commitments over the next couple of weeks. I like Alabama's chances for a lot of those guys. And I think Alabama's going to be able to climb up the boards over the next couple of weeks. And I've said it over podcast radios, and the theme of the summer is patience with Alabama. It's not maybe like last year with 14 total commitments. Now Alabama's got 2, with the latest with Jet Tamal and obviously Sam Utu earlier this month, offensive lineman out of California. But I think Alabama's in store to get quite a few commitments over the next couple of weeks and continue to climb up that rankings. And you kind of got to have to remind myself it's still June. We're still a long way to go until December.
Very true. Now, Ben, I want to go back to you. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. You were on my show last week, but Sequoyah Hilton commits to Georgia, and Georgia's on fire, right? Justin Fitzpatrick, he shuts it down. Jordan Smith, he shuts it down. Brady Marchese, there was rumors about him flipping to Michigan. He shuts it down. So just what's your thoughts on where Georgia's right now, currently with Kirby Smart and obviously this recruiting class?
Yeah, I think Georgia's moving in the right direction, sort of like Brett was just saying with Alabama. Like, it's typically just a matter of time when it comes to Georgia and Alabama recruiting, right? Like, it doesn't really matter where they're at in the rankings when they've got 6 or 7 commits in the class. Once they get up to 20, 25, 30 commits in the class, you're always going to see Georgia and Alabama as a top 5 class. Sequoyah Hilton, big time pickup for Georgia. I think that this was a guy that Brett said it to me as well previously, like, we're just happy for this guy because he's been through some health stuff throughout his career and his weight has fluctuated. And I think that it has maybe challenged his ability to be, consider being an offensive lineman in the SEC. And he measured in at 290 when he was up at Georgia. And I think that that was really all Georgia needed to see. The film's there, how he's wired between his ears, that's all there. One of the best centers, interior offensive linemen in the state of Georgia, just from a film standpoint. And the fact that he has put on that weight and held on to it up at 290 plus, I think that's really all Georgia needed to see to feel comfortable taking him. But yeah, just in general, I don't think it's slowing down for Georgia anytime soon. I'd expect there to be plenty of news here over the next couple of days.
Overall, maybe in the state of Georgia, you guys are excited to see compete in this.
Yeah, I'll go first because I think we'll probably have a similar answer. Obviously, Jet Tamal is kind of my attention, and I was joking because this is my 3rd cycle. In the first 2 cycles, you had Julian Sayin and Keelan Russell, so you kind of had all eyes on the Elite 11, and now Jet Tamala. But I think it's Travis Burgess out of Grayson, who, if we're talking about the state of Georgia, I think he's a very, very, very talented quarterback. Me and Ben, me and Najeh, we've had conversations about him kind of over the years. Obviously, part of a very, very great program over at Grayson, led to a state championship, I believe, and basketball as well. Is a very good basketball player, committed to North Carolina. So he's kind of got that endorsement from Bill Belichick and that staff over there. So I think he's going to be able to, potentially turn a lot of heads, making that trip from Georgia all the way out to California this weekend.
I mean, in Georgia's case, I'll admit I haven't been paying as much attention to the Elite 11 because Jared Curtis was injured throughout the spring, so he never participated in any of the regionals. So Georgia doesn't actually have a commit out there for the first time in quite a while. But I agree with Brett. I want to see what Travis Burgess does. And then a quarterback that we actually got to see at the Sevens tournament, the 7-on-7 event that was held in Georgia earlier this year, Darion Coleman is a quarterback that's committed to Miami. I was really impressed with him and what I saw. I think that because of his stature, he probably is someone that shows up really well in this setting because he is a little bit smaller in frame, but the arm talent's really there. He's a very smooth operator. So he's someone that I think will have, when we're not talking pads and he doesn't have to worry about being kind of slight of frame, I think he's going to show up really well this week.
For sure. Now, let me ask you guys this. You guys have been at the Georgia Tech 7-on-7. Obviously, you guys have done different days, but just not necessarily Georgia, but just what prospects have caught you guys' eye? It doesn't have to necessarily be committed or obviously recruited by Alabama or Georgia, but just from a high school standpoint, you guys are avid fan watchers and obviously savants here in the state of Georgia. Who stood out to you guys?
I can start on that, and I got LASIK surgery over the weekend, Najee, so I've been kind of prepping for that, and then coming out of it, I haven't been to Georgia Tech the way that I should have, as I normally am every summer, but last week, I think that, I wasn't there, but I had some people sending me videos of things because I wanted to stay tapped in on how things were going. And Houston County, they've got Jordan Smith is the safety that's committed to Georgia. It sounds weird to say that I think that a top 70 player in the country is underrated, but that's almost how I feel about Jordan Smith. I think he's one of the most untalked about prospects in the state of Georgia this year, just in terms of how good of a football player he is, really, as a safety, obviously, because that's where Georgia's taking him at. But I think he could play wide receiver at the next level if he wanted to as well. But then he also has his high school teammate, Kayvon Conciaro. He's going to be taking an official visit to Georgia this upcoming weekend. Georgia spots are starting to fill up at wide receiver, but the fact that they're still bringing him on campus as one of those big body type of wide receivers, he's definitely someone that still intrigues me in the Georgia sphere.
Yeah, I think a guy, you're looking at the state and a guy that I think we're going to be following for a while, and Ben's probably already keeping tabs on is Keon Standifer, who came in, I think it was last Wednesday, halfway through the afternoon, and someone had told me I think he has 15 touchdowns already, and you walk over there and he has like 5 more, and the kid kind of just finds the ball, out of Athens Academy, so. You talk about Kamari Brooks and proximity to that campus. I think Georgia's probably going to be involved for quite a while, and I expect Alabama to probably enter the equation and conversation as well. But then you look at this Kell team that all of us have had quite a few eyes on. It's not a guy that surprised you, but I mean it's Braden Rouse, who was just like routing up kids, and you look and the staff, the Georgia Tech staff's like, this kid shouldn't be running routes as a linebacker like this. And he was showcasing his sideline to sideline speed. And I mean, he was in his 3rd 7-on-7 camp of the week, playing like in his 8th game, lining up against Grant Haviland, then sprinting back and lining up to play tight end. The kid is just like an absolute freak out there. And he looks bigger and faster every single time. And then another guy in Kell is Joel Combe, who Alabama was kind of involved in a little bit. I think Georgia was involved a little bit as well. Kind of does it all out there. Great kid. Just awesome. A kid you absolutely root for. I think he was out to Wisconsin, and Missouri's involved as well. Just kind of a joy to watch, and always smile. And that Kell team just kind of fun to watch, and they're able to win it. And I think they won 2 or 3 straight 7-on-7 in a row.
All right, now before I let you guys go, 30-second answers from both. All right, I got to make sure I stay in the 30-second window. All right, Ben, I'm starting with you. Favorite commit from the 2026 class so far?
It would have to be Jared Curtis. It was so important for Georgia to be able to get their guy at quarterback. Brett and I have talked a bunch about how Georgia quarterback recruiting always feels so much more complicated than it needs to be. And I think when you look back at the end of this cycle, it really wasn't that complicated for Georgia. Georgia got Jared Curtis to commit twice. They zoned in on him as their number 1 quarterback target. And I don't think Georgia would have felt comfortable getting out of the 2026 cycle without Jared Curtis in it.
Yeah, I think it's Jordan Edmonds. Again, we talked about earlier in the show, but number 1 cornerback in the country. Georgia continues to kind of go at him. I continue to kind of relay on our site. Georgia's going to be a team worth watching, but Jordan Edmonds did not get to Athens on an official visit capacity this summer. That's worth noting. Confirmed he will not be on campus this weekend as well. So for Alabama to kind of continue to shut things down more and more, that's a very big deal. And then another guy underrated, but getting more and more rightfully rated is Chris Booker. Me and Ben have talked about him forever. Offensive line commit out of Hayfield Charter. A lot of eyes on him around the country. Florida, Georgia, Ole Miss in the conversation. Alabama's going to get him for an official visit this weekend. That's one we're going to continue to track for a very long time.
For sure, man. Well, fellas, I appreciate you guys coming on my show, man, and obviously giving all the intel, man. Those that are watching the show on YouTube, obviously Peach Sports Network in the fall, you will be seeing a lot of these fellas. They are some of the best experts here in the state on Alabama and Georgia recruiting. Fellas, appreciate y'all coming on.
Yeah, thank you
guys.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, coming up, it is time for the commitment. Yes, Will Rajecki will announce his commitment live on the show, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear.
Yes, sir.
Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance.
Yes,
you bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
This makes my dad proud. He went through his whole career as an employee. Now I'm the employer, something he didn't achieve.
We are signatory to IBEW and do IBEW people wherever we go that we feel like they are faster and better than any of our competition.
The advantages of being a signatory contractor is you're trained employees. You have unlimited manpower. It allows me to bid on jobs that I ordinarily would not go after.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers.
I know that's last minute, but
the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches.
You have me muted, right?
Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
All right, welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Recruiting with Najeh Wilkins. We're back. It's time for the commitment, man. So Will Rajecki, outstanding player for Sequoyah, nearly 2,000 all-purpose yards this past season. They had one of the best seasons in program history. So without further ado, let's welcome him on the show. Will, my guy, what's going on?
How are you?
Doing good, brother. How's everything going?
It's been great.
Yes, sir.
It's been great.
Yes, sir, man.
Yes,
Appreciate you coming on, man. So for those that don't know you, Will, yes, sir, anytime. Talk a little bit about your story, man. You've put in a lot of work. Your dad's always sent me your film. And just to get to this point, Will, I know you've done a lot. Just talk about your training and everything that's led to this point.
I started football in the 3rd grade, and I've always had the dream to play college ball, which, I really just training with Coach Beckwith has really got me to this point, just putting my head down, really putting in that hard work, staying focused. It's really been my biggest thing.
Now, Coach Beckwith, Will, is known all across the state in terms of training running backs yourself. C.J. Garrett's commitment I was just at. What does he do with you guys and just have you guys play at such a high level on the gridiron every Friday night?
The drills he puts us through are really game-like. He's not going to put us through anything that's just pointless. Obviously, that's not going to help. Everything that he puts us through is something that could happen in a game, and that's going to really help us while we're playing.
100%. Where do you feel like your game took that biggest jump forward this year, this past year with obviously Sequoyah Chiefs?
Some of my biggest thing is probably biggest thing is probably my pass blocking. I really like to work on that. I worked on that last summer, and I've still been continuing to work on that. And really my burst and my top end speed, really just everything around. And then, and then also just catching out of the backfield. I've been trying to just perfect my craft.
Do you feel like you're one of the most complete backs in this 26 class?
I do. I really do. Just all the work that I put in, I feel like I should deserve that.
Got you. Now we're going to allow you, obviously, to say the commitment, but just anybody you want to shout out, just tell me real quick, man, what does your dad mean to you? He's your biggest advocate. He's always pushing you out. What is that? What does he mean to you?
He's really just like really my hero. If I had to say that, but really just from a life perspective and just through my football career, really just him building me up as from a young man to the man I am now.
100%. Well, it's your floor, Will. We're going to give you the honors, allow you to announce your commitment, obviously live here on the show.
I'd like to announce my commitment to Memphis University.
Yes, sir. All right, there you have it, guys. He's committed to Memphis University. So you just went on the OV there. Can you just talk a little bit about that, how important that was to you, and what really sold the deal for you?
Really just the culture and everything. Meeting the coaches, meeting the players, just really getting to spend some time with them over the weekend. Just really felt like home, and then just being able to look at the facilities and just seeing what all the program had to offer was real nice.
100%. And then, Will, just talk a little bit about your relationship with Coach Lee Marks. Obviously, he's a running back coach there from Memphis. We know he's been able to produce at the running back spot. Just talk about your relationship with him.
We got a really good relationship, and I like him a lot. He was my second offer of my career. Really just him believing in me early. Really just gave me that boost of confidence and everything. And he honestly was really committed to me. And he probably visited me more than any other coach. So I took that to heart. And yeah.
100%. And then, obviously, when you look at this class, how excited are you to just build with this Memphis group? We know about last year, them landing Antoine Hill. We know about all the great recruits like yourself that's going to be in this 26 class. How excited are you to just see what this Memphis program is building?
I'm pumped. I mean, really just them giving me this opportunity. Them honestly talking about how their running back room they've got a pretty good gap, and I could come in and fill that and really be a big impact for their program. It's got me excited.
100%. And then just talk about just maybe one of your favorite things about just the Memphis program in general, and maybe just when you was on campus.
I mean, my favorite thing is definitely like I said before, the culture, and then just Coach Marks, just the way. I mean, I sat through some meetings with him and kind of saw the way he would coach me as I got there, and I really think that could impact my game.
Now, don't reveal their scheme, but just how do they see you fitting in? Do they see you as a 3-down back? Do they see you as a guy doing a little bit of everything, the versatility? We know you're very versatile when it comes to Sequoyah. You can line up in the slot, the receiver. One of the routes I broke down your film, you absolutely cooked the defender in, obviously, the X position or the Y position. Just talk about how they foresee you kind of fit into their offense.
I mean, he basically said everything you just said. I mean, really just me being a 3-down back and also moving me around the slot to other spots in the receiver position, especially like I said before about sitting in the meeting rooms. I mean, that's what he showed me. He showed me in the pass game where he would put me and really all the different routes I'd be running and how I really fit their program really well.
For sure. Now, Will, I want to ask you just, obviously, like I said, you popped off this year. More offers came in. Georgia was interested, Kansas State, NC State. Just talk about seeing all the love those programs kind of showed you before you obviously came to this decision.
I mean, they were all very like into me, like really committed and trying to build that relationship. But I just felt something different with Coach Marks. Really, just him coming to visit school, coming to track practice, obviously coming to practice, and just coming and being around us, being around my coaches, being around my teammates. Really, just meant a lot.
For sure. Now let's talk a little bit about you, Will. Where do you feel, I mean, obviously you just talked about track. How do you feel like track has maybe helped your game on the gridiron?
It's helped a good bit. I mean, I used to be not very good at my top end speed. And I mean, really just once I got past the front line, I could make a couple guys miss, and then just keeping that speed after I hit that first burst off of the 10 yards was really my thing, but that I need to work on.
For sure. Now, as you look into this season kind of coming up, obviously, I know you're training very hard with Coach Beckwith. Obviously, I know you're doing the things you're supposed to do. Are you leading this group by example, or are you kind of leading this group more vocally when you look at the senior season coming up for you?
I would say I'm more of a lead by example player. Not really. I'm not very vocal. I'll kind of just go through the motions, and I'll say a thing here or there to some of the younger guys, but really just doing everything right, doing everything 100%, just letting them see the best thing that they can possibly see and do.
Now, for the Memphis fans that are watching this, what are they getting in a player like you, Will?
They're going to get a blue collar, hard worker. I'm going to be a physical blocker, and really, I'll be the first one at practice, the last one to leave. Really, just a overall hard worker, good player.
Certainly. Is there anybody you like to watch on the college level?
Be honest, I don't watch a whole lot of college.
Okay.
I like to really watch my film, try and perfect myself, watch the teams we're playing, really see what guys they got, see how I can really do the best of my ability in the games that I'm about to come up and play. So,
okay, gotcha. All right. Now let me ask you this: are you a tough self-critic of yourself?
Yes, sir. I mean, I like to say I'm very hard on myself. Even just any little thing, especially the hard things, but even the little things, I like to perfect and be a perfectionist. So.
Got you. What would you maybe tell others with a similar story to yours? Obviously, all this hard work paid off. Will, I know you still got a senior season coming up, but just your story. What else would you tell others just to be able to keep going and know that eventually it's going to all work out?
I would just say, really, it's a hard game. It's going to get tough. You're just going to have to like when it does get tough, you just got to put your head down, know that all this hard work is going to pay off in the end, and then you'll just meet your goal. And
100%. All right, last thing. Anybody you want to shout out, Will, or anything you want to say before we let you go for the show for today?
I mean, I like to shout out. Our God, obviously, for helping me make this decision. Then my parents. I like to shout out my teammates, my coaches, Coach Beckwith, and Rusty Mansell for really pushing me and giving me all these connections and giving me this opportunity that I have.
100%. Well, I want to say just thanks so much, brother, for trusting me to allow you to announce this decision on my platform and obviously the platform of Score Atlanta and Peachtree Sports Network. We appreciate you so much, brother. Can't wait to see you ball out this year.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me.
Anytime, my guy. All right, guys. Will Rajecki is officially a Memphis Tiger. There you have it, guys. All the people tuned in. I think I've seen about 60 or 70 on YouTube. Y'all are running it up. We appreciate you guys tuning in for the commitment. Coming up, an exclusive interview with Sam Vincent of River Ridge.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters.
Nah, you good, bro.
The record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all.
I was getting text messages.
The advice givers, the community shapers.
Nah, you good. You didn't do nothing wrong.
Game changers, the life changers.
You did, brother. You did great.
Coaches.
Handling that on the fly like that.
Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Okay, bet.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Okay.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Yeah, let me reach out. Got him? Okay, perfect.
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician.
Okay.
Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Dang.
All right, welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Recruiting. I'm your host, Najeh Wilkins. So now it's time to bring on Sam Vincent of River Ridge. Had an outstanding season, obviously, for that program. So let's bring him on. What's going on, Sam?
Hey, what's up? Appreciate you having me on.
Yes,
Super
sir.
happy to be out here.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Had to bring you on, brother. So, man, we're going to talk, obviously, about Georgia Tech. Obviously, in the 7-on-7, you balling out there. But both sides this season, I mean, you're an elite defensive back, in my opinion. Just how you've been able just to continue to refine your game to where you are not only making plays on the ball, you're making these big hits. Like, you're doing everything. So just talk a little about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've been working super hard on, improving footwork and everything because I'm going to have to play a big role in our defense this year. But I think the 7-on-7 and everything has really helped. And I've been getting my 40 down, all this. And I think I can really play any position on the field this year. I'm super confident.
Now, obviously, you talk about athletes. So I know predominantly they've had you, obviously, DB. Are they going to have you play a lot of receiver? Because at 7-on-7, you're killing it at the receiver spot. So kind of how does your coaching staff see you playing this year?
Yeah, so we lost a lot of guys last year, so I'm really going to be playing a big role in our offense this year. So I'll probably be the wide receiver one, and playing pretty much every snap this year. So I'm really just prepared to go out there and just do everything I can to win, pretty much.
For sure. Now I want to pick your brain. What does it take to be an elite defensive back in your eyes? What are some qualities or tendencies you need to have in order to play this position at an elite level?
I mean, I think it's just understanding the game because when you know what they're about to do and you can pick up on little things to really eliminate routes and really just understand what's coming next. I think that really makes the game a lot easier. And I think it's just all the little things at DB that really can separate you from other people.
100%. Now let's talk real quick about Georgia Tech 7-on-7. Last year you guys won it. You obviously had that big viral clip of that catch late in that game in order to really spur your team. How exciting was that just last year to win, be on that stage at Georgia Tech and just showcase your skill set?
I mean, that was awesome. It was really big for our school. That was something we've never really done before. And it was just a great opportunity for everyone on our team to get their names out there and just really showcase what we had because we didn't really get a chance to do that. So that was awesome, and it was awesome to have all those coaches watching us.
For sure. Now this year you guys obviously participated again. How did that go? And who were some players alongside yourself we should watch for River Ridge this upcoming year?
It went really well this year. We don't have as much depth this year, so I think we got a little worn out towards the end. But one of my buddies, Andrew Rowe, going to play DB and receiver this year. He's gonna be all over the place. He's really good. Micah Pugh, running back, really good. Cam Cox and our upcoming quarterback, Hunter Lockman, he's gonna be really good. Had a quarterback graduate last year, but he's ready to fill the boots. So.
For sure. All right, let's talk a little bit about your recruiting a little bit, Sam. Just kind of what is the latest there? I seen you recently visit Barry, so let's start there. Just how did that official visit go, or that visit go, and what stood out to you?
That was awesome. I really loved everything about them, the coaching staff, everything, the way they take school serious. I think that's really important. And recruiting's been going pretty well overall. I've been making a lot of really good connections, talking to a lot of coaches. Camps has been helping me a lot with my recruiting. And I think it's just at this point, it's just got to show up and play this season.
For sure. Now, it's a two-sided question. I know you have been attending major camps. KSU Mega Camp, you was at that. What schools there that really liked you and were talking to you there when you were balling out?
I talked to the Mercer linebacker coach. He was really nice. He took a lot of liking to me. There was this Wingate, Sewanee, and I saw a Barry coach there as well, I think. So. And shorter. So, I had a few coaches talking to me, and it went really well.
Gotcha. Do you have any other visits coming up maybe in the next few weeks, or are you kind of just waiting to see?
Yeah, I'm kind of just waiting to see right now, but I plan on going to see some other schools in July. So.
Now, I do want to ask you, obviously, you talked about kind of Mercer, linebacker coach there. Where do college coaches, from what you've discussed with them, you don't have to say necessarily the school, where are they seeing you being kind of recruited as? They see you as that free safety. They see you coming down in the box and playing at a high level. Where do they see you fit into kind of their scheme?
So I've talked to a lot of coaches, and they're honestly interested in me playing linebacker, nickel type position. But I've talked to some for receiver, some DB. So it's really just the preference of the school, and I'm ready to play wherever. I think it's just wherever I can get on the field is the best place for me. So
now this is a personal critique, Sam. I know you say you don't care where you play. But if you had to choose, would you rather play receiver or would you rather play DB? If you had to choose.
Ooh, that's a tough question. That's a really hard question. I get it all the time. But honestly, I think I'd go with receiver. I've been playing it my whole life, and it's just my bread and butter.
Got it.
I love either one, so it doesn't matter to me.
So I want to re-ask this question. I asked you what it takes to be, you think, an elite defensive back. What do you think it takes to be an elite receiver on Friday nights?
I think you just got to be smooth. It's if you can play smooth, then you can beat anybody you play against. Speed and route runnings and catching, obviously, all factors. But if you're not smooth, you can't do it. So I think just being smooth is just what will make you an elite route runner and receiver.
Got you. Now, I'm a college coach. Sam, we would love for you to come be a part, obviously, of our team and our program. We want you to get a big-time role. But what do you bring to my team maybe that another recruit doesn't?
I think it's just the love I have for football because, it's everything to me. It's when I'm not on the field with my boys, I'm stretching, ice bath, something. I love it. It's everything to me, and it's just, I'll do anything to get back on that field. So,
100%.
I mean,
walk me.
That's what separates me.
Yes, sir. Well, walk me through a moment, Sam, where you was like, you know, football definitely could be in my future. Whether that's youth football, whether that's high school ball. Walk me through a moment you was like, okay, I can do this.
I mean, it was just honestly like it was just my sophomore year. Like I didn't play freshman year, and like it was a rough year because it's just like I didn't get to do what I wanted. And sophomore year, I got the chance to play varsity, and like I was competing, and I mean making plays, everything. And I was like, wow, I mean, I could really do this, and it really just made me fall in love with this so much. And ever since then, I've loved it and put all my time into it. So
100%.
That was a big moment.
Yes, sir. Certainly. Walk me through just your goals for 2025, man. What do you want to accomplish?
So on the football standpoint, I want to get 1,000 yards receiving and at least 10 touchdowns. And then from a defensive standpoint, I want at least 5 interceptions and break my school record for interceptions in a season. And I'm hoping to get 70 tackles. So it's a hefty goals, but I think I can definitely do it.
Hey, man, you wouldn't be doing it right if it wasn't hefty, man.
Right.
100%, man. All right, man. So a few more before we let you obviously get out of here. We talked about obviously your play on both sides of the ball this year. Where do you think maybe is an underrated aspect of your game a lot of people don't know about?
That's rough, but honestly, probably my one-on-one covering skills, because I feel like everyone knows me. Like I can come down, hit. I'm a good receiver, but like, and nobody really sees me cover ever. So I've been working on it a lot lately, and I think I'm really getting a lot better at it. And I like one-on-one situations, like cover 1, cover 0. I think I'm definitely going to be a really good guy for that. So
100% agree. Well, Sam, that's all the time we got, man. I just want to say thanks so much for coming on, man, telling your story with me, and obviously your recruitment, man. Wish you the best the rest of the summer in 2025, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Of course. Man. Yes, sir. You too. All right, guys. Sam Vincent, there it is. Coming up after the break, we will have the official commitment of CJ Givers with videos. I was on site right before the show kicked off today, so we got exclusive coverage there, so don't go anywhere.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
This has been a long journey, football journey. It's been some hard work, hard times, but I love playing this game. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's a blessing. So I just want to give out some thanks, to all my coaches, all the way down Little League football. Coach Tim Lester, he's not with us anymore, but I really appreciated him, teaching me the ins and outs of football when I was young. And our I'm really thankful to him. And then moving on to J.C. Walden, you know, he helped me a lot through everything. You know, I mean, he put me on the opposite line because he said I wasn't tough enough. And, I want to give props to him. I'd say I'm a pretty tough guy now. So, thanks to him and you know, Coach Tim McFarlane. You know, first couple years in 8th grade in high school, I really appreciated him. You know, kind of the offensive wizard he is, and just you know, teaching me some things about offense in the game of football. And I want to thank my Coach Thompson. You know, he's a hard coach, but you know, he'll get you right. And he's been around the game for a long time, and sometimes you just gotta remember, you know, it's not how he's saying it, but it's what he's saying, and just listen to him. Just hear him out because he doesn't know what he's talking about. I want to thank my running back trainer, Coach Beckwith. He does a lot for me. I've been training him for about 3.5 years now. Really appreciate him. You know, he gets me right in the field, you know, footwork and all those types of things. And I want to thank Coach Valentine. You know, really helped me and believed in me ever since I was in middle school. So I really appreciate him and you know what he did for me. And so I also want to thank my parents. You know, couldn't have done any of this without them. I mean, ever since I was young, you know, grew up in a football house. So I'll never forget, like, when, you know, when me and you lined up, I had the Titans helmet on, and I, you know, kicked you somewhere, but it was good. So, you know, growing up in a football house, you know, them teaching me the right things, and, you know, teaching me to be a good person first, obviously, and, you know, family, God, and then football, you know what I mean? So I really appreciate them. And then also my sisters, you know, the two most supportive sisters in the world right here. I mean, they're always there for me. You know, I might not always articulate that, but I really do appreciate them watching me and cheering me on in the stands, and you know, just always being there for me. So I want to thank you guys as well. And so, without further ado, you know, for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be taking my talents to Duke University. Stressful, so doing this, you know, takes a weight on my shoulders, and now I feel like, you know, I'm 100% focused on fellowship football in this upcoming season. You know, I'm all in for y'all boys, and you know, I know y'all here for me as well, so I'm really here, and you know, my mind is here right now, and you know, going into Duke next year, going to a great program, it's on the rise, and I really think that you know, we're gonna do some great things in the future. So you know, it's just exciting, really exciting, and to be going to, you know, this type of academic and athletic, you know, school, and so it's exciting.
All right, CJ, big decision, man. Obviously, you're officially a Duke Blue Devil, man. Tell me, how good does it feel to be a Blue Devil?
Feels great. I mean, I love this program. I mean, on the way up, you know, Coach Foster just got there. I mean, he's a great guy, and he's going to develop me as a man and as a player. And Coach Diaz, I mean, he's running a great program up there with a great culture and a great atmosphere up at Duke, so I'm excited.
Now, when you talk about, obviously, Coach Foster, right, obviously got hired in January 2025. How did that relationship start kind of from January to where it is now? Yeah, so actually, you know, Coach Foster, he's been recruiting me since he was at Northwestern. So I built that relationship with Coach Foster since Northwestern days, and you know, kind of carried on over to Duke. And you know, every time I visited and he visited here, you know, the relationship just got built more and more, and him, my parents, and all. So it was really exciting. How good when you was able to take an official visit to campus? How good did it feel kind of just to be there? What really stood out to you? Yeah, I mean, when I just went to campus, it just felt like home. You know, I feel like it would have been a no-brainer to not go to Duke. It just felt like my type of people that I wanted to be around. You know, even when it comes to coaching staff, all the way to the players and to the students, and you know, the staff. So really, I really just felt like I was at home when I was at Duke. Now, you mentioned obviously academics as an important piece. So what is something you want to major in when you potentially get there? Talk about the academic component of this school. Yep, so I'm thinking about majoring in communications when I get to Duke. You know, I kind of want to be a sports analyst type of guy, so I think that's what I'm going to do when I get to Duke. Okay, now talk about real quick just Duke's development at the running back position. I know that was critical for you. We see Star Thomas had a good career there. How much does that mean to you to see their development over the years? That's huge. I mean, Coach Foster himself has multiple backs in the NFL, so I feel like that he can develop me to be a great back, and that offense is built for the back, you know, to get him out in space, you know, just get the ball to the back in space. So I feel like that's really good for me. Two more. What are your goals for 2025?
goals to 2025. I mean, gotta win that state championship with my dogs here at Fellowship first before I go off to Duke. So, I think that we have a great team here this year, and I think we'll be able to get it done this year.
Last question, man. Give me a message for Blue Devil Nation, man. Where did they get in a player like you?
I'm a 3-down, all-around back. I can get the dirty yards, hit the home run, pass, block, catch a ball, do all types of things. So I feel like I'm a really good player for Duke. I think that they're going to get a good player.
Anybody you want to shout out before I let you go?
Just want to shout out my parents, my sisters, my family, everybody. And I want to shout out my boys, Jonathan Granby, Josh Petty, Evan Haynes. Couldn't have done without them either, so I appreciate them.
Yes, sir. Congrats again, man.
I appreciate it.
All right, guys, there you have it. So CJ Givers is a Duke Blue Devil. Enjoyed, obviously, being there, seeing so many similar faces. Don't know if they'll get a chance to see this, but got to shout out, obviously, James Petty, Josh Petty's dad, Evan Haynes, his dad, Mike, who used to play, obviously, in the NFL, Jonathan Granby's another one as well, and obviously CJ Givers and his dad, Conrad, as well, for allowing me just to come. They definitely give you a family experience when you, obviously, are there at Fellowship Christian at Roswell. And obviously, shout out to the AD, David Laurie, for allowing me to come there as well. I know he's not here. He's on vacation, but we appreciate him allowing me to come through, man. Great staff, obviously, and their coach, Coach John Tompkins, and obviously all the great members of the Paladins family. So definitely a shout-out to them and definitely greatly appreciate them. But, yeah, I was a little surprised. I thought probably going to Georgia Tech, his boy Evan Haynes is there. Obviously, you have Josh Petty there. They played together. I think they took a visit together to Georgia Tech, so it seemed, that would be obviously the place for him. But the big thing that I took away when talking to him was just the academic component. And he said, I don't just want to go to a school that's just football. Like, I want to make sure that I will be fine after my years are over or when I eventually have to stop playing football. So that was key for him. And as he said in the interview, he wants to major in communication, wants to be a sports analyst as well, from what he told me and what I gleaned from him. So outstanding player, man. Really a true 3-down back, similar to kind of Will Rajecki. They both can catch it. They both can pass, block. They both are great downhill runners. They have great burst, great vision. Both are the most complete backs, I think, in the state of Georgia. So outstanding for him. And again, I appreciate his family for allowing me to come and cover the recruitment. But guys, that's going to wrap up the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this edition of Inside Georgia High School Recruiting with your host, Najeh Wilkins. We have much more coming up this week, and we will have on Florida commit Carson Baker as a headliner later on this week.